Welcome to the Recruitment Edge HR Conversation Series. Now more than ever, employees are looking for meaning and purpose in an organisation. In fact, many are voting with their feet. They are turning their backs on organisations that don't uphold a powerful purpose and looking to align themselves with an organisation that has an authentic and genuine purpose. Today I'm joined by Phil Preston, a leading expert on the application of purpose to driving organisational performance. Phil left a 17-year corporate career due to a lack of purpose and has since helped people and organisations maximise the difference they make. Thank you, Phil. I'm really interested to talk to you more about this whole concept of purpose. We find in today's employment world that candidates are really scrutinising companies about their purpose. I want your take on that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think at the company level, it's been a really interesting conversation because 3 years ago, companies didn't take it that seriously, whereas today they are. So we've come a long way in a short space of time. And what I mean by that is companies are being challenged to identify what's the benefit to society that they're bringing through what they do. And it's not just what is that benefit, it's can it be implemented. Now I do sometimes shy away from the word authentic, but it has to be very authentically implemented within the company. You can't be doing one thing and saying another. So that's what people are looking for. Are they getting it? I'm not always so sure.
So when people say purpose, what do they actually mean?
Well, there's a company perspective and an individual perspective. Should we go the individual or the company?
Let's say it's an individual looking for a job with a company.
Yeah.
And they're scrutinising the company.
Well, first of all, people, when you ask a group of people what purpose means to them, you'll get many different answers. So you've got to be aware of what individuals are looking for. So I find it can be anything from like a benefit for the person, like it's about supporting their family, through to better working conditions, through to health and well-being and just really thriving in their career, which is sort of different from someone who wants to go into a job because they want to do good in the world. You know, they're more looking at external benefits and helping others. So what we find is people have different ideas about what purpose means for them. Therefore, the challenge for employers is to cater for several different dimensions of those needs. And arguably, they've got to be up on all of them.
And on the flip side?
The flip side being, if they're not, I think you get found out fairly quickly and you're going to have those higher churn rates. The consistent messaging today is that talent, and this is your ballpark, not mine,
yes.
but everyone is struggling to get really good talent. So I would say in bringing some sort of value proposition to your employees, it's got to be a little bit better than the other competitors. Now, everyone's trying to do something better, but to create genuine value and a connection between an employer and employee is more than just an occasional morning tea. You know, it's going to be more than supporting a charity every now and then. It's going to be something that has real meaning and purpose to that person.
A strong culture and ethos.
That's all part of it.
And genuine.
That's right.
I'd be very interested to hear, Phil, because you have the experience now and you can tell us what works and what doesn't work.
So honing in on purpose is a little bit tricky because sometimes we default to thinking the activity of the company is the purpose. So as an example, if we think about, say, a car dealership as a business, the activity is selling cars. And we may think of that as being the purpose. However, that's the activity. The real purpose or the real benefit from selling cars might be helping to connect families with safe and reliable transport solutions, as an example. So businesses are being very much challenged to identify not the activity, but the true purpose of what they do. They have to be aware that it's not a lot of things as well. So it's not trying to be the most profitable company. It's not trying to have the biggest market position. It's not trying to be the preeminent provider of something. It's all about identifying what that real benefit is that people are going to get out the other end. Because when you're working for that company, if you understand that connection, that adds real meaning to your work.
What challenges do you see for companies in delivering on people's desire for purpose?
I think the bar's been raised, and you've probably experienced this, I guess, that the bar is going up very quickly. So there's a lot of traditional things we've thought about in terms of jobs, and that is, I work for a company and this is my job and my career. But what people, I believe, are looking for now, and you can validate this or not, is that they want a business that's going to be a partner in their own life's goals. So this is going into a space where people might not stay at the company for long, so the company shouldn't view that in a negative way. It should be, how can we help people on this journey?
Whilst they're here.
While they're here. So they'll go out, the other end, and yes, they might go on to another company, but they're going to go out there with a really good experience.
It isn't part of a good experience speaking well of an employer even if you're no longer there.
That's right.
So part of the branding for a company and their purpose, it's very important for your employees today, but the employees that may have gone on to other things but still speak highly of that experience.
Yeah, and we saw in COVID some of these instances playing out as well. Airbnb was a classic example in the US where they had to lay off a whole lot of people, but they did it in a very considered and thoughtful and helpful way. So even though some of those people, a lot of them might not come back, a lot of them are dying to come back to the company at the right time, and the company is maintaining those connections to tap into that talent and the people that really love it further down the track.
I had a thought, Phil. Is purpose different across generations?
There's certainly differences in the way we come at purpose when we think about purpose as being a greater good and helping others. Because I'm a Gen Xer, I'm sure everyone in this room is younger than me, but I'm a Gen Xer, and Gen Xers and baby boomers tend to come with this mindset of, look, we're going to make some money and then give a little bit back, and that's how we do something good in the world. However, we've seen the scale of the challenges we're facing in the world today, and that's not going to solve all those problems. So what we find is the youngest generation coming into the workforce, being Gen Z, are thinking, I want purpose and meaning to be core to my work. Yeah, I don't want it to be that little thing on the side. It's got to be part of everything I do. So you've got two real extremes.
They don't want it to be an afterthought. They want it to be front of mind.
That's right. And then we've got millennials or Gen Y in the middle. So yes, they want a bit of what Gen Zs want, but they've also got mortgages and kids, and they're finding out there's some realities and available time isn't always there to be as purposeful as they want.
I have another quick question. Do you think, having gone through the last couple of years of COVID, that it's changed people's thoughts on what their purpose is?
I'd say it's caused many people to reflect more about their purpose. However, I'd say the trend was really strong before that. So about 3 years ago, things started changing a lot from global investors who are now saying to big companies, we've got to understand your purpose because it's going to help us assess whether you're going to be commercially successful or not. So that was the big trend under the surface a little bit, but COVID just brought it all home really quickly. So it's almost been like the perfect storm.
Well, thanks for your time today, Phil. What final tips do you have for us?
I'd say for any employer out there who's thinking about purpose and whether they're doing it well or not, it's to refresh your purpose statement as a business and involve your people in that process. So be really clear about what your overall purpose is, but then at an individual level, just tune into what purpose means for your people. And you'll find it does mean different things for different people, but there'll be themes coming through, and that can really help inform your response and how you support them in their own life goals and really energise your workforce going forward.
Thanks very much, Phil. It's been great speaking to you today.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of HR Conversations. Until next time.